Hello, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, children, boys and girls from all the land. I don't know what else is out. Maybe aliens are still out there. Who knows? But we know what's out there tonight, everybody. It's going to be LMU driving with TRACKILICIOUS, folks. And we're in for a special treat. It's going to be multi-class madness. Although we call it the Multiclass Masters Championship, I figure we're going to get a bit of a surprise here tonight as the drivers take to the grid and we find out who's made of what. Because it's going to get tight. It's going to be twisty. It's going to be challenging for all the drivers because, of course, we're driving at the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, brought to you by Sargento Cheese, of course. Without any further ado, let's take a look at the calendar and see where we're going and what we're up to for the rest of the TRACKILICIOUS team. Thank you very much for the follow, Izzy. Appreciate it. For the GT4 rookies, on February 10th, we're going to be at Watkins Glen. And that's going to be for the GT4 rookies and the GT4 Open following that. Monday, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The GT3 West Coast Championship, we've been to Suzuka, Valencia, Imola, and Spa-Francorchamps. Next up will be Zolder on the 12th. The GT3 Championship on iRacing just concluded its off week. Then Virginia International Raceway, Road America, Laguna Seca, Bathurst will be up next on February 13th. The GT3 Proto Pavement Championship, where you have a chance to go from sim to in real life and get 500 buckaroos in your pocket for travel expenses. And you get to drive a track prepped car, courtesy of the TRACKILICIOUS team. The next up will be Kyalami. We just had an off week on February 9th, or we will be having an off week on February 9th, excuse me. That'll be this Sunday. We're taking a break for the Super Bowl, or the Superb Owl, depending on who you're asking. And Kyalami on February 16th is when we return. Then Valencia, Watkins Glen, and Paul Ricard to round out the championship. What's up, Doc Milwee? What's up, B522? And hello to my good friend, Patrick Dubois. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you very much for sticking around. The qualifying session is already underway. So let's get down to the racing action, shall we? Dude, for copyright for calling it the Superb Owl. Oh, man. Unfortunate. Cheers for Wilson Fernandez. Cheers for Sexy Saagar. And Izzy suing me for copyright infringement for calling it the Super Bowl. And we've got a whole bunch of drivers out here tonight. Right now, let's take a look, not at the mix, let's look at the GT3s, because the GT3s are the ones out here doing the work right now. We got Lucas Schroeder. Lucas Schroeder in P1 right now. And he's driving a 44 flat, basically. Let's turn on the qualifying graphic. We have Darren Wicks in P2 doing a 45.7. Jason Provolone, the big stinky cheese man, is in third place with a 45.8. Chris Tones in fourth place. Xavier Crabb in fifth. Rod Skyhook in sixth. One Bigley in seventh. Will Brunner in eighth. And Joseph Nunez in ninth. Yuki Hayashi is in 10th, performing their outlap now, and Carlos Guzman in 11th. We're splitting this qualifying in half for the drivers this time around, so the GT3s are going to be the drivers to go out first and get their outlaps in. And then we have the hypercars going out second. Adam Strange requested a fun fact. I've got one for you, Adam Strange. Did you know that before it became a permanent circuit, Imola's layout was made of public roads? explaining its old school flowy nature with elevation changes. Quite a few Corvettes out here tonight, that is correct. Got at least 3 of them, but the grid is mostly made up of BMWs and a pair of Maccas. Donut Snail will most likely be joining in with the Corvette, but not signed up yet. Then what are you waiting on? Exclamation point SimGrid. We'll get you the list of the championships that are available here at Trackalicious, where you yourself can find yourself live and on stream. Hopefully not punting anybody and hopefully getting on camera for the right reasons, having a good clean battle on track, but you know, we capture what we capture sometimes. .143.7 is the target time right now. And Darren Wicks needs to gain about a second on this lap, and he's not doing so this time around. What about Chris Tones? What about Rod Skyhook? Excuse me. Personal improvement through Sector 1, but he looks to be slowing down through Sector 2 right now. Blue Bernie, cheers for Gotero. Let's see you top 10 your first race. Right now, Nicholas Gotero is sitting in the top 5. That's only because he's sitting in the pit lane right now. Cheers, Dr. Porkchop. Cheers to you, my good friend. Provolone with improvement through Sector 1 and Sector 2, but it's not going to be good enough for pole position. Will they practice their pit stops? No. Getting to the line, 7th place is all the big stinky cheese man had in store for us. A 145.8 will be all she wrote. Darren Wicks into the pit lane, practicing their pit stop entry and doing the best thing possible for the race. Got 2 minutes left in this qualifying session for the GT3s. No driver can start their lap after the 13-minute mark. Right there is the occasional mass murder at times. Yes, T1 is famously dangerous here on cold tires, says B522. Very true. Very, very true. And I am curious about these lap times. I'm seeing that Schroeder is obviously the fastest guy on track right now, about 1.1 seconds. But will that mean a lot during the race? How consistent can Schroeder be? Schroeder. No, it's Schroeder. I said it right the first time. And we're sticking with it now. Schroeder, Will Brunner, Darren Wicks, Chris Tones, Xavier Crab, Rod Skyhook, the stinky cheese of Provolone, Hayashi, Bigley, Nunez, and Guzman. Chris Tones finding the kitty litter here on this lap. Good Rod Skyhook find an improvement getting out of Sector 1. We'll keep an eye on his timing, and no, the answer is undoubtedly no. Just getting a little bit more practice in. This will be the final lap for the GT3 drivers that have not crossed the line just yet. Almost identical times between Provolone and Darren Wicks. Separated by 11 thousandths between them. And then 1/10 up the road is going to be Will Brunner, in second place. And 1.1 after that will be Schroeder. Pretty close qualifying times for all the drivers. And we should start to see a couple of the hypercars start to roll out of pit lane. Rod Skyhill calling it a night here. And pulling off into pit lane. Provolone says that he's the big stinky cheese and also that he's scared. What's there to be scared about? You're starting in third place, my friend, but you got Darren Wicks close behind you. 11 thousandths away from you. He's going to be there to keep you warm at night. And the hypercars are officially rolling out onto circuit. And the roar of the cars is loud and well, folks. And hopefully the drivers keep it clean, neat, and tidy for the next 11 minutes or so. Lots of swerving, bobbing, and weaving to generate some heat in the tires before they get onto their initial lap. One Bigley is amazing, and not just because it says so on my screen, but he is amazing for supporting the stream and keeping the lights on. Thank you for the $5 dono, Mr. One Bigley. You are the big supporter here at Tracklicious. Thank you so much for your contributions and keeping us going here in the broadcasting booth. Really appreciate it. Just in case anybody else is wondering what the dono was about or what the dono is for, is we and Mike and I are looking to gain as much of a following as we possibly can and see if there's any interest in a donation goal being hit for this month. Trying to reach a goal of the month to support the streams and to keep us employed as professional commentators. This is Mike's primary job, as I've just recently gone back to work, but I'd like to support Tracklicious as much as possible and make this my secondary job, if at all possible. I love what I do as a broadcaster and thoroughly enjoy being here as a member of the Tracklicious broadcasting team. So I will say, as always, thank you very much to the Tracklicious staff for having me on. Really appreciate all the love you guys give us. And most importantly, the platform to do cool stuff like this. A lot of purple times coming out, but that's because it's just the first lap and no one set the target time yet. Might be Palmieri getting to the line first. Switch over to the hypercars now. Ooh, Michael Moding topping the timing tower right now. Wet Sox, welcome to the party. And Narasimha, 6 thousandths away from that time, almost identical lap time to Michael Moning. Palmieri is in P3, Siege Engine is in 4th, Azevedo in 5th, Matero in 6th, Alex Alfonso. Ooh, and things are getting jostled up and down the timing tower. I'll keep my mouth shut as the times keep on trickling in. You can keep an eye on the leaderboard to the left-hand side of your screen. We'll go to João Azevedo. King Kuru says he's looking forward to the racing. Well, King Kuru, I'm looking forward to it as well. 100 minutes are going to be on the clock. This is going to be a nice little endurance race that we're going to be treated out to. And João Azevedo potentially impeding or excuse me, invalidating his lap. I thought he was going to impede the car behind, but no, avoids doing so. Siege Engine with a purple sector 1, green sector 2. This might move him up to the top of the order. Nurashima takes pole position away from Michael Moning, getting it to the line with a 1:30.7. The new target time has been set. Siege Engine now goes P2 with a 31.381. Just 0.6 off the good from Narasimha. We've got a couple drivers still out there doing laps. We've got 6.5 minutes left on the clock. If we can go on board with Siege Engine. And see what it's like to go around in this Ferrari AF course. At number 51, getting over the curbs through Variante Alta fairly well, but having a bit of a wiggle on the exit. Down into the Ravazzas. Ravazza 1 sliding his way through into Ravazza 2. Didn't use all the curb on the entry, using all the curb on the exit that is possible there. Headed down in towards turn 1. Will Siege Engine break there at the orange marker? He sure does. Doesn't have to abuse the curbs as much as he thinks he does here, coming through the first chicane and now through the Villeneuve chicane. Sends it in to the left-hander, then through the right-hander, carries the speed in third gear, braking at the 50-meter board. A little bit of a lockup, and he misses the apex there. By just a smidgen coming through Tosa. Now up to Piratella. Pirates Corner. Now into the trickiest section of the track. Acqua Minerale, 2 braking zones here. And a big wiggle out of Siege Engine as he had a purple sector 1. Unable to keep it produced there. Blue sector 2 of Acqua Minerale. Engine tumbles down the order into 5th place. Michael Moning in 2nd place. Jacob Palmieri in 3rd. Brandon Pfeiffer in 4th place. Siege Engine in 5th. Wilson Fernandez driving home in 6th place. Santiago Barrios in 7th. Anton Rashevich in 8th. Aiden Burke in 9th. Alex Alfonso in 10th. Mitchell Diaz in 11th. Nicholas Guterro in 12th. Jake Bucknam in 13th, Faraz Saidi in 14th, and now he's up into 12th. Nicholas Guterro down to 13th, Jake Bucknam in 14th, João Azevedo in 15th, and Juan Kairas in 16th place. What's up, Spady Bud? Welcome to the party. Look at the gap between Guterro and Bucknam. Look at the gaps up and down the grid right now. It's 1 second separating the top 8 right now, and 2 seconds gapping the top 15. That is quite a good grid that we're going to have. 16 drivers total in the hypercar category, 11 in the GT3, making this a 28-car grid. JD Bud says, I've been missing all the action on Mondays. Unfortunately, I have a paying gig on Monday evenings. So I had to prioritize that this season to keep my client happy. Jake Bucknam with a 131.9 promotes himself into 11th place overall in the hypercar category. Only 73 thousandths away from Alex Alfonso, who was only 28 thousandths away from Aiden Burke, who was only 43 thousandths away from Rushevich. Wilson Fernandez, 15 thousandths away from Siege Engine. But I do miss out on Magic Mondays. A little bit of dust getting kicked up in front of Jake Bucknam's eyes from the driver in front. Not sure whom that is. Jake Bucknam driving the Peugeot 9X8 2024 LMH hypercar, 2.6 liter V6 twin turbo with 670 brake horsepower, 520 kilowatts. Best FIA championship result so far for the WEC championship would be 4th place at Fuji in 2024. With 40 seconds left on the clock, is anybody out there looking to improve? Palmieri grabbing a purple Sector 1 in the Lamborghini Iron Lynx number 63. The Italian car on its home soil, trying to wave the red, white, and green flag high above its head. Purple through Sector 2 also. Can he carry the speed and the momentum? Palmieri in 3rd place right now, trying to chase down Michael Moning and Narasima. Bringing it to the line. Is there going to be any improvement for Palmieri? When he gets to the line, only time will tell, and he does take pole position, a 30.465, and he'll instantly pull over with that amazing lap time, and there is the new marker to be set from all the drivers. João Azevedo out there trying to improve, but I don't think he'll find that target time of a 130.465, and he pulls over. Aiden Burke out there looking to improve for the Wheeling Cadillac Racing Team, but he's pulling over now. Santiago Barrios not looking to improve on this lap this time out. Jake Bucknam, is he going to improve? Getting it to the line, still holds on to 15th place. Faraz Saidi, is he going to improve? No, a 32.680 will not best his previous best lap time. And that's going to set the starting order for this race. And let's take a look at the session results here in just a moment. In the hypercar category is Jacob Palmieri in P1, Michael Moning in 2nd place, Arjun Lakshmi Narasimha in 3rd, Brendan Pfeiffer in 4th, João Azevedo in 5th, Siege Engine in 6th, Aiden Burke in 7th, Wilson Fernandez in 8th, Santiago Barrios in 9th, and Nicholas Guterro rounding out the top 10. Who was cheering for Guterro to get into the top 10, or was that for Wilson Fernandez? I can't remember, but someone was cheering for a top 10 result for them. And they sure found it this time around. Looking at the LMGT3, Lucas Schroeder in P1 over Will Brunner by 1.1 seconds. Then Jason Provolone in third place. Darren Wicks in fourth place. Chris Tones in fifth. Xavier Crab in sixth. Rod Skyhook in seventh. Yudi Hayashi in eighth place. One Bigley in ninth. And Carlos Guzman rounding out the top 10. Blue Bernie was cheering for Gutierrez to hit the top 10, and he sure found it. Let's look at the starting order and see where the drivers are all stacking up right now. In row 1, we're going to have Jacob Palmieri next to Michael Moning in P2.
Formation lap has started.
And no, we're not, because the formation lap has already started. That was a quick one. Drivers are all lining up 2x2 formation, and you can see that there's no break between the hypercars and the LMGT3 category right now. Palmieri leads over Moning and Lakshmi Narasimha, Pfeiffer, Azevedo, Schroeder, Brunner, Provolone, Wicks, and Tones, and it's a good start for the hypercar category as Jacob Palmieri leads going in towards turn 1 on that inside line, but there's already calamity, and the 31 Whelen Engineering car takes out the 51 of Siege Engine, and they're both tumbling down the order now, and that is a sad, sad day. Lakshmi Narasimha is doing a good job keeping it between the mayo and the mustard. Let's take a look at the drivers' names. Blue Bernie cheered 100 bits. Let's go racing. Thank you very much for the follow as well, Blue Bernie. Appreciate that. Oh, we have another driver off. Who is that? That'll be Mitchell Diaz, I believe, tumbling down the order, and it looked like it. Narasimha, though, doing all right. His name's too long for the timing tower. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to get that changed. Now looking at João Azevedo in 5th place, chasing him down. But we've also got a battle in the LMGT3 category for the lead of this race. Lucas Schroeder and Chris Tones, nose to tail right now. Let's take a look further back and see how the drivers ended up faring. And it looks like the BMW and the Whelen Cadillac are trying to get through on the LMGT3 category sooner rather than later. The 246 is Schroeder leads over Chris Tones in P2. And those are some good positions gained overall. Let's take a look at those positions gained and lost very quickly. Tones is up 3. Provolone's right where he started. Will Brunner's down 2. And Wicks is down 1. Narasimha is down 1. Pfeiffer is up 1. And let's switch over to the LMGT3 category overall very quickly, since we're watching LMGT3s, and see how they all ended up faring. One Bigley's down 1 position, and Crab is down 2 positions. Hayashi's up 2 positions. Runner's down 2. Wicks is down 1. We've still got a long race ahead of us, folks. 1 hour, 37 minutes left on the clock. As we started the race with 140 minutes, we've just got 1 lap completed. My commentator math in my head was scratching my head going, wait a second, what's 80 minutes? But it's not 80 minutes, it's a 100-minute race. Santiago Barrios, number 20, into the pits on lap 1 out of the hypercar category, taking a full service and then getting back out onto the racing circuit. It looks like a 4/10 gap has emerged between the leader, between Chris Cones and Lucas Schroeder. And the 2 Cadillacs, Will Brunner chasing down Jason Provolone, going side by side into Variante Alta. A little bit of door banging there between the two drivers, and the move's able to get done and dusted. A little bit of what in the tarnation going on in the background, as we saw there going through the high chicane. Yuki Hayashi was able to get a move done over Carlos Guzman, it looked like. Switching back over to the hypercars, it's pretty much nose to tail right now, except for Palmieri. Really has a 2.6 lead over Michael Moaning. Brandon Pfeiffer 4.4 back, and then Narasimha with a 0.8 gap to Brandon Pfeiffer. João Azevedo in 5th place. Anton Rashevich in 6th place. Wilson Fernandez in 7th place. Mitchell Diaz in 8th, and Nicholas Gutierrez in 9th. Juan Kairos in 10th place. Battle right here between Jake Bucknam and Faraz Saidi, as he's in a little bit of a sandwich, a Jake Bucknam sandwich between Faraz Saidi and Siege Engine. And Yuki Hayashi taking a DNF, the first of the drivers, of the 28 drivers here tonight to take a DNF. And shame to see him go on lap 1 so swiftly. Keeping an eye on the action on the racing circuit, it looks like everything is mostly clean for the drivers. No more incidents after the lap 1s that came through. Bucknam, the league manager, running in 12th place, like I said earlier, in that little bit of a sandwich that he's caught in right now. Let's take a look at Narasimha. Trying to get this guy's name to not be cut off anymore. Arjun Lakshmi Narasimha resting his head in 4th place now. Let's take a look at the positions gained and lost. And Rashevich has gained 6. Diaz has gained 6 positions. Saidi has gained 5. Engine's down 7 positions. Clark is down 9. And Barrios is down 8. Keeping an eye on the GT3s right now. Carlos Guzman is in a steep battle side by side with Darren Wicks. This is a battle for 7th and 8th place. The 2 Corvettes going after each other right now. Excuse me. Corvette against McLaren. Carlos Guzman driving the Makataka. Thank you, physics. I appreciate you, my friend. And welcome back, as always, to the Trackalicious LMU streams. Hopefully you're enjoying yourself here tonight. Wilson Fernandez chasing down Rashevich, who's done a great job improving his positions. I think we said he's up 7 or 8 positions already. And Wilson Fernandez is trying to change that around quick, fast, in a hurry. Look at that Wilson Fernandez battle, and we've already got lap traffic. And look at this train of cars. This is P3 all the way back down to P7. Wilson Fernandez at the rear end of this train. João Azevedo chasing down the Cadillac in front, the number 3. Lap traffic definitely becoming a thing, giving and taking away time from the drivers. This train of cars seems to not be effective as they caught that car at a very good time on the racing circuit down the front straightaway. We didn't say so already. We're racing at the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari in Emilia-Romagna, Italy. Brought to you by Sargento Cheese, Parmesan. The official sponsor, holy Toledo, the Lamborghini almost took out the other Lamborghini. The official sponsor of Trackalicious and the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, brought to you by Sargento. Whoa, that is a big train of cars getting involved into an accident coming through Acqua Minerale. The 63 behind ran into the 63 of João Azevedo, and that car ran into the Corvette out in front. And holy Toledos are definitely out, and this will bring the big stinky cheese man into it. Battling, going into Ravazza 1. The 63 looking for an optimum line to get past the number 3 of Lakshmi Narasimha. Can he get the move done going in towards turn 1? I don't think so. Not quite enough overlap there to be had. That was the 63 of Anton Rashevich, who ended up getting bumped in the rumpus there, and getting sent back into the Shadow Realm through Acqua Minerale. Gaps come down between the leaders. Palmieri now has a 2.0 second gap to Michael Moning behind. I think some fuel-saving strategy has definitely decided to kick in for Palmieri. Rush into Acqua Minerale again. 3 has a bit of a wiggle. The 63 goes to the inside line, hit it into Variante Alta, and that is a big send from the number 63. Will he be able to hold on? Just barely does, but a little bit of side-by-side contact with that overtake. Not necessarily a push to pass, but a little bit of argy-bargy racing action to be had. And 63 has a big send on the next Corvette. And the 3 regains that track space just as lap traffic giveth, lap traffic take it away as well. And it looks like Lakshmi is now about oh, excuse me, that wasn't Lakshmi, that was Brandon Pfeiffer, the other number 3 Cadillac racing car, who got sent back because Narasimha is actually up the road by 1.7 seconds. So this is Brandon Pfeiffer's battle with João Azevedo. gap between the GT3s has opened up, especially as lap traffic is now getting involved and finding their way around are the hypercars, getting through and separating the GT3s into basically survival mode. Lucas Schroeder leads by around 6 seconds now over Chris Tones. Will Brunner in 3rd place, Jason Provolone in 4th place, Rod Skyhook in 5th, Xavier Crabb in 6th, Darren Wicks in 7th, Carlos Guzman in 8th, Juan Bigley in 9th, Joseph Nunez in 10th, and Yuki Hayashi taking the DNF of the race in 11th place. João Azevedo into the pits a little bit early on this one. And I think that'll be a DNF for João Azevedo now. Not sure what happened there, but that'll end that battle as João humbles down the order, it looks like. Beautiful shot of the pit lane. And the 51 of Siege Engine on a recovery drive after an earlier lap 1, turn 1 incident. João Azevedo, sorry guys, feeling hurt today with a fever. Well, João, I hope you get some rest and well-deserved rest. Because, man, that was an epic battle that you had for a little while. But, man, I hope you start feeling better. I can understand what it's like. You're just not feeling it. You're just not feeling it. Go get some rest, my friend. Hopefully you can watch the stream and get some rest and relaxation. Listen to the sights and sounds of LMU as you rock yourself to sleep. Siege Engine and Faraz Saidi separated by around 6.6 of a second. Thanks, João. Have a wonderful night and get some rest, my friend. '51 of Siege Engine is a little bit faster than Faraz right now. Looking to make the move side by side coming into the following chicane. No overtaking opportunity to be found on this occasion. Try to go the long way around at Tosa, but getting a good switchback into Paratella possibly is that 51 of Siege Engine. Locking bumpers with his fellow Ferrari man. Aquamineral. It seems like the gap has just become stagnated here. Let's check out this GT3 battle between Carlos Guzman, Darren Wicks, and Xavier Crabb. They're separated by around 6/10, 7/10. A little bit of time between the three drivers. The 720 trails the Corvette out in front. And Joseph Nunez takes the second DNF of the night in the GT3 category. We're going to have to go back to this battle between Shevich and Mitchell Diaz in just a few moments as the app is coming down pretty steadily. Let's take a look at this. Going in towards Tosa, side by side is the battle here. As we get a beautiful shot of the banner brought to you by LMU and our good friends at Sorvento Cheese. Whoa, a little bit of side-by-side door banging, and there is a giant hip check into the number 63 from the car. I think that was Mitchell Diaz. Yes, that was Mitchell Diaz, the number 38. They just collided there. And 1-2 does not go into 1 apparently. Keeping an eye on the Guzman-Wicks crab battle between 8th, 7th, and 6th. This is the start of their lap and coming through the second chicane. That'll be Cambarello, or Villeneuve chicane, excuse me. This cameraman with Parkinson's is killing me. Let's go on board with Carlos Guzman and see what his point of view looks like. Deep on the brakes coming into Ravazza Run, almost coming to a complete standstill there. Dr. Porkchop says, I would hate to be the Corvette in that McLaren sandwich. And as we discussed earlier on another stream, you wouldn't call it a McLaren sandwich because you never describe a sandwich based on the bread, right? It's always based on the meat inside of the sandwich. So I hate to be that guy, but
it's actually a Corvette sandwich, Dr. Porkchop.
But you're absolutely right. I understand what you mean. Mike Noss and I went and debated that one day on an LMU stream, and I was like, you're right, but you're still wrong because it's a McLaren sandwich. There's 2 McLarens sandwiching a Corvette at the same time. This is a great battle for the LMGT3 category, and I'm glad we have this beautiful point of view. A little bit of a wiggle there for the Corvette, and McLaren also following suit there. Is he calling me a meat connoisseur?
Excuse me, they're called delicatessens, okay?
Isn't a charcuterie board just a DIY sandwich machine? Like, it's just a board of all the things that you put inside of a sandwich, just laid out on a piece of wood, right? I don't know how we got onto this topic, but something that's irritated me for quite some time as the Corvette squeezes its way through. And there's the number 63. That'll be Rashevich again off. And he's actually tumbling behind the GT3 category right now. I believe he has taken a first pit stop, it looks like. Whoa, and that is a big wiggle from the McLaren. Smoked Corvette on Bobby Seed McLaren. Iris says, they are arranged in smaller pieces so you can make the perfect bite. I'm not sure I agree with you there. Because then you have to assemble every bite. What is this, Lunchables for adults? That's basically what charcuterie is. Whoa, and there goes an off from the McLaren out in front, avoiding the lap traffic, and there goes the Corvette off. Holy smokes, let's see if we can get a trackside camera of where that Corvette ended up. Behind, but not too far behind, it looks like. Now, Dr. Porkchop, do you want a sandwich or do you want charcuterie? Do you want to assemble every single bite yourself? Oh, and there's an off from the first leading McLaren, and that'll be Carlos Guzman getting by Xavier Crabbe, Darren Wicks, able to recover just barely through the high chicane. Iris, you're right. I haven't had a great charcuterie board. Every charcuterie board I've ever looked at, I've just been like, well, this is just Lunchables for adults. The only thing that they added were olives. I should ask my Italian friend how he feels about charcuterie. I went over to my Italian friend's house for lunch the other day. Oh man. So good. It served us a 6-course meal. A lot of spills and thrills so far. Absolutely, Kangaroo. Xavier Crabbe still chasing down Carlos Guzman. So this battle between the GT3s is not over just yet. And I am keeping an eye on the hypercar category still. Siege Engine around 3/10 away from Juan Caires. In the battle for 8th and 7th. We'll switch over to that should it arises. Charcuterie is French. The more you know. Wow, son, the McLaren. That is a big off and a send. He lights up the rear end to get pointed back in the right direction. And those tires are going to be screaming for better days. Take a look at the hypercar category now. Siege Engine chasing down Juan Caires in the battle for 7th and 8th. Number 51 is Siege Engine on that recovery drive from an earlier incident that he was involved in. Innocent bystander, if I've ever seen one. 1 hour, 14 minutes, 20 seconds left on the clock, and we've already started talking about food, folks. This is not good. Dr. Porkchop says he wants a proper sandwich. What kind of bread are you going to get, Dr. Porkchop? Dutch Crunch? Sourdough? Those are the only two good answers. Or maybe a white? Ooh, a good white bread. Happy Friday, Muff SDR. Smoked meat on rye. I love me some rye bread. I personally love rye when I get my patty melts, though. Nothing better than a good Friday patty melt. Buff SDR, welcome to the Sandwich Talk. Oh, there's a race going on? Psh, don't mind that. We're here really talking about charcuterie, sandwiches, and all that good stuff. Buff SDR, how do you feel about charcuterie boards? Tell me your innermost secrets about charcuterie. Corvette, the number 82. That'll be Will Brunner or Jason Provolone. Both drivers in the 82. Gyro, does it count as a sandwich? It's a wrap. It's definitely a wrap. I don't know if it'll classify as a sandwich, because it's not sandwiched between two pieces of bread. It is just one piece of bread wrapped around objects. It's like calling a burrito a sandwich. A burrito is not a sandwich. But a gyro counting as a good lunch? Yes, 100%. If it was a good gyro, it was a good gyro. Muff SDR says, I love charcuterie. My wife has a couple nice charcuterie boards and makes a nice spread whenever people come over. All right. Well, Muff SDR, you're going to have to invite me over to educate me on the inner windings of charcuterie, because I have no idea. I think charcuterie is basically just Lunchables for adults. You throw some salami, some Ritz crackers on there, some cheese. It's just Lunchables. It's just a DIY sandwich board. All this battle between Juan Kairos and Siege Engine has allowed Faraz Saeed to catch up. He's 4/10 off the good. You can see the number 50 lurking in the background now, and Jake Bucknam and the number 94, obviously on a fuel saving strategy, lurking in the background. See, Iris, Muff SDR agrees with me. It's a fancy Lunchable for adults. Assembling sandwiches one bite at a time. Assembling sandwiches one bite at a time. Brendan Pfeiffer actually 2/10 off the good from the number 3 of Narasima. No, Dr. Porkchop, this is not LMU. This is Sandwich Talk with Dr. Saagar Bakshi. God, get it right, Dr. Porkchop. Yes, this is the new LMU season. The new LMU season started tonight, and every other week we'll be hosting 100-minute races. Multiclass Madness, aka Multiclass Masters, is the league on !SimGrid, in case you're interested. In case you're interested in joining the LMU Multiclass Masters Series. And then every alternating week, we'll be hosting 100-minute Orca races on the same track. Should be a fixed setup if I remember correctly. And the gap is open up from Faraz Saidi to Juan Kairos. It's actually closed down. Let's take a look at this. The 3 red cars. The Porsche leads the 2 Ferraris. Izzy says, if charcuterie board is Lunchables for adults, then wine must be grape juice for adults, and I'm all for it. You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. Excuse me, that can't be Jake Bucknam in the background driving the BMW. Not sure whom that is in the BMW behind, but it's not a car. It's not a car on the lead lap. That might be Santiago Barrios trying to regain some pace and momentum. We have a lot of good wineries where I live too, literally down the street. I literally live on the road where all these wineries are in my neighborhood. And I've never been to a single one. I've been meaning to order pizza from one of them though, because they have a wood-fired pizza. And I'm like, I bet they have some of the best pizza on this mountain. They live up in the mountains in the middle of nowhere, so I bet they have really, really, really good pizza. I live in the hills of California over by Santa Cruz. This is a battle that is going to be concluding here very soon. The 50 looks to the inside line of the number 6 out in front. That'll be Juan Kairos defending as hard as he possibly can, driving that Porsche. That should be the Porsche 963. 4.6 liter V8 twin turbo with 670 brake horsepower, 500 kilowatts. Oh, no way, Muff SDR. You're an hour north of Santa Barbara, then. I mean, we're not close to each other, but we're not too far away from each other either. We can go get some charcuterie together. What's an hour north of Santa Barbara? Santa Maria? Dr. Porkchop, I believe one of your main gripes with LMU, or one of the things that you need to set up the most when you're driving a hypercar, is just your energy deployment system. If you can get your energy deployment set up properly, so that way you're not at 100% battery, you know, every once in a while, and causing you to lock up the rear end. Here comes the 50 again up the inside of the number 6, coming down into the Verbatzes. This is definitely going to be side by side. The 50 is going to have the overspeed on that number 6 of Juan Caires, and he gets the move done and dusted. Yeah, Santa Maria. Okay. Palomeri. I believe Palomeri took a pit stop. We are checking. We are checking. No, Palomeri did not take a pit stop. Just seemingly having an off there. Palomeri loses the lead of the race to Michael Moning. Didn't see what happened at all. Let's take a look at Palomeri's car and see what happened. No replays here on LMU, unfortunately. Well, some say we'll never find out what actually happened to Palomeri. But I assume it had to do with lap traffic. His car looks like it's not damaged. And he's only 1.2 away from Michael Moning, leading in the number 36 out in front. So no pit stop. Positions gained right now. Moning's gained 1. Palomeri's lost 1. Naracima is right where we started. Pfeiffer right where they started. Fernandez is up 3. Diaz is up 8. Caires is up 4 positions. And Palomeri is pushing just a little too hard right now, going off at Villeneuve chicane. We'll keep an eye on this battle for now, although we do have another battle between Saidi and Juan Caires on track. Juan Caires tumbling down the order now. What happened to the 51 of Siege Engine? He was in front of Juan at one point in time. Now everything seems to have inverted itself. Lap traffic, give it. Lap traffic is taking away. This guy with the Parkinson's, this cameraman's got issues. I mean, Michael J. Fox has Parkinson's, and I'm not making fun of him, but that cameraman has got to give up his gig. At least there's no honking cars here like there is at Bahrain. Holy Toledo. Now there's a track that needs some rework. Before I see anything else done to this game, I definitely need to see that get fixed. Like sooner rather than later, folks. Like holy smokes. That is one thing that has continually driven me nuts, is that honking car. And Palmieri's not gaining any more time on Michael Moning. Gap's actually opened up to 1.2 seconds. So the number 36 Alpine actually escaping just a little bit. The worst thing was that Alex actually told people in the LMU Discord that I actually liked that honking sound. And people were like, what? Why? Oh, funny, funny, funny. Is it possible to look at the GT3 standings? I guess. No, of course. Absolutely. Take a look at the GT3 standings. And take a look at our leader, Lucas Schroeder, leading the charge right now. Oh, we might have to switch over to a battle between the hypercars in just a second. But Lucas Schroeder, about 21 and a half seconds ahead of Chris Tones, Jason Provolone in the Corvette, 7.2 seconds away. Then Rod Skyhook in fourth place. Carlos Guzman in fifth place. Darren Wicks in sixth. Will Brunner in seventh. One Bigley in eighth. And Xavier Crabb in ninth place. And Xavier Crabb taking a DNF. So that'll be it. Just the 8 runners in the GT3 category. And absolutely, Schroeder is running away with it like a bat out of hell. And we've got the two number 3 Corvettes of Arjun Narasimha and Brandon Pfeiffer coming in. And number 46 navigates the hypercars very well. Well, the hypercar is navigating the LMGT3 very well. Dr. Porkchop, get your name in the ring. There's still plenty of time. Plenty of racing left to go. We still got 59 minutes left on the clock. I'll allow you to join mid-session. I mean, I might give you some extra ballast, but, you know, there's that. We're just going to call it success ballast to find out what it does. We should do that. We should totally take donations for success ballast to be added to people. Izzy says LMU won't let him join. Oh, sad. I'll just give Schroeder some success ballast to spice up this GT3 battle a bit. What do you think? 100 kilograms? 200 kilograms? What do you think he deserves? I think he'd be fine with like 250 kilograms of success ballast. Watch, he's not even watching the stream. Lucas, if you're watching, flash your headlights at the stream. Flash your headlights if you don't want success ballast. He's not even flashing his headlights. The man's not even watching this stream. He deserves success ballast. 5 kilograms for 5 seconds of lead? Ooh. Now we're talking, Izzy. Now we are talking. That's his fault, Dr. Porkchop. He should have known. How do you race a hypercar? Oh, he did flash his lights. He did turn his lights on and off for a second down the straightaway. How do you play a multi-class game without having your lights mapped to something? How do you flash people and let people know that you're faster than them? Unbelievable. The audacity of this guy to not have his things mapped. And pit stop phase actually kicked off there. Palmieri into the pits, tumbled down into 10th place overall. And I think that's what's happening. I think Palmieri was really just in a fuel-saving mode. Again, didn't see any damage happen to him, or any damage on that car of his. And Chris Tones, obviously, in pits. Let's take a look at the number of stops. I thought it said that there was 100 seconds between Chris Tones and Schroeder. That's why I thought he had taken a pit stop already. No, Palmieri just took a pit stop. He's fine. He's fine. He's fine. He's fine. The number 63. He's doing fine. Anton Rushevich. Yes. No. Unfortunately, Anton left. Got hit by somebody going into Sector 2. Man, unfortunate for you, Anton Rushevich. You were doing a really good job in making up a lot of positions there on the start of your race. But yes, getting hit. It's still a long race, 55 minutes left on the clock. You could have made up some positions. That will be our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th DNF of the night, leaving us with just about 20 drivers remaining. If my math is mathing. Two number 3s battling it out still. Brandon Pfeiffer and Arjun Lakshmi Narasimha. I don't know if penalties are given out. We're going to have to ask the steward managers about that. I would DM or tag Jake Bucknam in the LMU Friday Discord channel and see if there is something that you guys can do about reporting incidences or not. That is not a question for me, my friend. I am just a dumb commentator, sir. And that's where I get to draw the line. I don't know nothing. I'm just here to talk about the racing, charcuterie, and wine. No problem, Tony. Have a great night, Anton. Take care and be safe. Will Brunner, I think, took his pit stop. Chris Tones, excuse me, took his pit stop. Out from second place of the race in the GT3 category. Oh, I didn't know Michael Moning was an SRO driver. Very interesting. No wonder he was able to get around Palmieri without us noticing. Sneaky, sneaky. That's a lot of fuel saving, I must say. Ooh, and there is an inverse of positions there. Number 3 overtakes number 3. Brandon Pfeiffer gets by Narasimha, but now they both come into the pit stops. Juan Kairos on his way out of the pit stops right next to the Peugeot. And one of these cars has got to yield on the exit. Who's it going to be? Whoa, neither of them are going to yield. A little bit of flashy of the headlights as Juan Kairos, and I think that might be Jake Bucknam in the 94. Yes, it is Jake Bucknam in the 94, getting involved with each other during their pit out cycle. Let's take a look at Narasima, and Brandon Pfeiffer gets left in the dust, it looks like, as Narasima is out well in advance before Pfeiffer, and Palmieri manages to make up a few positions and is back up into 4th place. Now let's take a look at the number of stops for the drivers. Narasima is actually in 1st place of the drivers who have taken the first pit stop. And now Michael Moning into the pits. Siege Engine still running out there without going into the pits yet. Yeah, Tony, you had a great start going from P12 to P5. Alex K, the man who told the world that I love the honking at Bahrain. We were just telling that story. Bryce Saidi going side by side with Mitchell Diaz, and Diaz gets spun around like a Beyblade. Holy smokes. Well, that's one way to conclude that. Siege Engine into the pits now, and that should be it for them. Yeah, Alex K. Oh, man. Tell them how much I love it. I will complain every single North American stream on this planet until that horn is removed. I saw someone in the INI actually was able to turn the volume down on it somehow. I want to meet that guy. I want to meet that guy, and I want to pick his brain. I need to meet the guy that has shared the INI file to reduce the honking sound. I don't even think it's the honking sound that makes me upset. It's just how loud it is. It's so loud from everywhere on the track. And people trying to gaslight me. Oh, I didn't hear the honking. I never heard the honking. You're just hearing things. I didn't hear things. Make it louder. God, no. There was actually a guy that said that he accidentally made it louder by messing with the INI file. I thought that was hilarious. He's like, yeah, I tried going in the INI file, but man, I think I accidentally made the honking louder. Oh, that's funny, Izzy. Jake Bucknam still chasing down Juan Kairos. Separated by around 0.6 of a second is the battle that we're watching right now. The Porsche leads the 9XB. (9X8), excuse me. Can't even read my own handwriting. If you haven't already, go ahead and pick up your 963 Porsche Speed Champions brought to you by Lego. While they're still on sale for under 20 bucks. One of the best Lego sets that I've bought in a while. That Porsche is a thing of booty. Makes me wish that they made more hypercars. Yeah, the BMW box was good too. I have that. I have that one also. It's actually sitting right behind me, ready built. Ooh. And then if you're interested, not that I get a affiliate link for this, but if you look up a guy named D&D Tube on Instagram, he does a Ferrari build. So you can buy and build your own Ferrari 499P. I didn't get the Peugeot. It's too big for me. I wanted just the Speed Champions. Let's see if I can find a link very quickly, so I don't lose out on any of this action. Yeah, Alex K, check this out. That is a long link. That is a long link. I am so sorry. AGT Diaz, hello. More than one need to calm down a little while driving, he says. I have lots of Lego sets, says Muff SDR. I have the new Countach sitting next to the rig waiting to be built. I also have the Countach waiting to be built. Izzy, that's just you. That's just you, girl. I like my sandwiches long. I like my 12-inch sandwiches. Subway beats Togo's any day of the week by 3 inches. And if you could see, I'm holding out 3 inches as... Never mind. We won't go there. We won't go there. Never mind. Where's Dr. Porkchop with the sandwiches? The guy left like an hour ago, still hasn't been back with the sandwiches. Still curious to see what he brought home for the rest of us. Rush05 is now following. Thank you very much. Hopefully you're here for all the sandwich talk, because there's a race going on somewhere on this track or on the stream. I'm just not sure where it is anymore. Jake Bucknam trails Juan Caires by around 0.6 of a second. Michael Moning is leading by 31.5 seconds over Arjun Narasimha. And Brandon Pfeiffer in third place. Palmieri didn't get quite to get that undercut to work for him. Although he could be on a fuel-saving strategy, sitting in fourth place. Fernandez Wilson in fifth place, 64 seconds off the good. Siege Engine in sixth. Juan Caires in seventh. And Jake Bucknam in eighth. Ah, yes, he's here for the long links. Yes, yes, yes. He2 likes him long, huh, is he? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Alex Alfonso in 9th. Faraz Saidi in 10th place. Aiden Burke in 11th. Santiago Barrios in 12th. Checking in with the GT3s, because I don't think this battle's going to go anywhere anytime soon. Lucas Schroeder leads over Brunner by 24 seconds. Chris Tones in the 46 is going to be in 3rd place. Rod Skyhook also driving the 46 in 4th place. Darren Wicks is in 5th. Carlos Guzman is in 6th. And then One Bigley is in 7th. That about does it for the GT3 category, because all quiet on the Western front. Let's check out Mr. Guzman. Leading by a hefty margin right now over Mr. One Bigley. Running in that 6th place spot, trailing by around 5.2 seconds. Oh, and One Bigley takes a DNF, I just realized. And that will leave us with 18 drivers left in this championship so far. In the LMP, excuse me, the hypercar category, and 6 remaining in the GT3 category. Welcome everybody to the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix at the Autodromo de Internazionale de Enzo e Dino Ferrari, brought to you by Sargento Parmigiana. The new sponsor of TRACKILICIOUS, of course. The greatest sponsor we ever had. We'll be right back. 50-second ad break brought to you by Sargento Cheese. This battle continues to rage on between Bucknam and Juan Caires. It didn't cease to end ever since the pit lane battle that they were in side by side with each other. Where Juan Caires kind of ran Bucknam a little bit wide there across the pit exit line. Hopefully Bucknam didn't get a penalty for that. You see all the debris splattered across Bucknam's windshield now. See if we can go on board with Bucknam and see how much is splattered across that windscreen. That thing is filthy, man. They couldn't have at least given you a tear-off during the pit stop cycle? Yes, yes, the well-known LMPT3 class. Yes, yes. Bucknam had an opportunity there to get alongside Caires, but decided not to go for it on that occasion. Be going for the fuel-saving strategy here. Jake Bucknam. The sights and sounds of LMP LMP3, LMP1, the hypercars, excuse me. I almost did it again, Izzy. Alejandro Polgarin, what's happening? This is the LMU race, brought to you by Tracklicious, the Multiclass Masters Series. Round 1 at Autodromo de Internazionale di Enzo e Dino Ferrari at the Emilia-Romagna, Italy. Brought to you by Sargento Cheese, Sargento Parmesan, the leading sponsor of Tracklicious. Too many LMs. Le Mans, LMP2, LMGT3. When will it end? Now here's Buckton going to look on the inside line on Juan Kairos. Will he be able to hold on? Juan Kairos covers it off fairly well, and there's nothing that Buckton can do about it on that occasion. Diaz, Rushevich, Gotero, Nemovskovsky, Azevedo are all out of this one. Michael Boning leads over Lakshmi Narasimha, excuse me. Wilson Fernandez, Brandon Pfeiffer into the pits. Alejandro Pellegrin says, awesome graphics, man. Well, thank you very much. Brought to you by the Sights and Sounds of Le Mans Ultimate. Brought to you by Sargento Cheese, the official sponsor of Trackalicious now. And Pfeiffer still stationary, surprisingly, perhaps getting some damage repair. Where is Senor Mike? I'm not sure where Senor Mike is. Maybe catching up with some Z's, or perhaps he has another broadcast. I didn't message him tonight. I assumed that Mr. Kuziterakov was going to be joining me tonight, but I forgot that he's a little busy this evening. But everybody's a little bit busy, and you're left with me, unfortunately. Alejandro Polgari. Sargento Cheese, no, I hate charcuterie boards. I love cheese, Sargento. I love cheese. I'm just not sure what a charcuterie board's purpose is in life. Other than making me work really hard to make tiny little sandwiches. Especially the people that put out baguettes, like baguette slices, with their charcuterie boards. Don't get it. East Coast Dave is on a 3-stream streak. Good evening, sir. Thank you for joining us back here for some Trackalicious action here on Le Mans Ultimate. We're getting in a heated debate about charcuterie boards and class leader moaning. Does he get a penalty? I could barely see it pop up in the top left-hand side of my screen. And Palmieri pushing a little too hard here. Pushing just a little too hard, going a little bit deep and wide, coming out of Variante Alta. East Coast Dave, I don't hate charcuterie boards. The penalty is my distaste for charcuterie. I think that's more appropriately put. I just don't get charcuterie boards. I just don't get them. I just don't get what their purpose is in life. Lexus, be cool, girl. Be cool. Be cool, baby girl. Be cool. Sorry, my dog, Lexus, barking. Barking because there's no Lexus on track. That's a good girl. That's a very good girl. And she's barking because people don't agree with my distaste for charcuterie. 30 minutes remaining on the clock, folks. Michael Monin leads over Arjun Lakshmi Narasimha, Jacob Palmieri, Wilson Fernandez, Siege Engine, Jake Bucknam, Juan Kairos, Alex Alfonso, Rez Saidi, Brandon Pfeiffer, Santiago Barrios, and Aiden Berg. Lucas Schroeder leads in the GT3 category over Chris Tones, Will Brunner, Rod Skyhook, Darren Wicks, Carlos Guzman, finishing out the 6 drivers. Thank you, Xander Zone. Charcuterie boards equals adult Lunchables. Charcuterie boards are adult Lunchables. Thank you. Thank you very much. Palmieri. Palmieri. What did I say? Palmieri. It could be Palmieri. Palmieri. Izzy, who are you? Where did you come from? You are full of sass tonight, and I'm absolutely loving it. Palmieri. Palmier? No. Palmieri. I don't know. I don't know about that. Palmieri? I don't know about that, Izzy. It's I before E except after C, and Palmieri doesn't have an extra C in his name. Therefore, it's Palmieri. Palmieri. Just like it's charcuterie. No. No. I'm not gonna take this laying down. It's Italian. Palmieri. Yeah. Palmieri. It's like Palmer, but with Palmieri. 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 Got it. Thank you. All you had to do was say it was Italian. I'm there for it. Little battle on track between Alex Alfonso, excuse me. It's Andre Alex Alfonso chasing down Juan Kairos by around 1 second is the gap right now. Wilson Fernandez actually inherits P3 of the race in front of Palmieri. Interesting to see how this plays out over the next 25.5 minutes, folks. I imagine some drivers are going to have to take an additional pit stop to make it to the end. Some will have to take a splash and dash. And I'm guessing that some drivers will make it to the very end. I'm guessing that Siege Engine was able to do the one-stop strategy and make that work for him. Palmieri was in so early, I think he's going to have to take another pit stop to make it to the end. Take a look at the number of stops. Saidi, Pfeiffer, Barrios, 2 pit stops apiece there. Otherwise, it's all one stop. What about for the LMGT3 category? Tones, Brunner, both taking 2. Schroeder and Skyhook, Wicks, and Guzman all on one stop of their own. Riding on board with Andre Alex Alfonso in the chase down for Juan Caires in front of him. I believe that Juan is probably on a fuel saving strategy at this point. The gap's come down from around 1 second to under half a second at this point in time. Going to get ready on the Alta. Juan Caires gets a better exit and Alex Alfonso slows down a considerable amount. I wonder why Alex Alfonso's throttle is only going to 50%. Alex, is that a fuel saving thing? Or is that just the battery deployment? Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Izzy. It has to be a thing with the battery deployment because it's only happening in the higher gears. And who's ready to see Ford come into the mix for WEC in 2027? WEC obviously being the first customer to see the Ford hypercar come out. Looking for the overall win at Le Mans, obviously. Juan Caires actually not too far away from Jake Bucknell. Yeah, East Coast Dave, you're absolutely right. It must be. Western Front coming into the final 19 and a half minutes of this epic event. Oh, and Juan Kairos goes off. Does this allow Andre Alex Alfonso to gain some time back? I don't think so. Not enough to write home about. What about the battle between Wilson Fernandez and Narasimha? This is a battle for second place overall. Palmieri. He did take a DNF. Palmieri. Yes, he did take a DNF. The fastest driver on track in the hypercar category took a DNF over the past 5 minutes or so. It's a shame. I mean, it really is. I mean, just how many DNFs we've had tonight. It makes the 11th DNF of the night. Ooh. Hope the guy doesn't watch the race back on stream. Watch me butcher his name a million different ways to Sunday. Imola is so tough without abs. I agree. I agree. That's why I don't drive Imola. I've got no abs. Diaz says, I think 90-minute race is more than enough. Yeah, maybe. I mean, at this pace, you know, a 60-minute race is more than enough if it'll prevent half the grid from dropping out. Tough to get girls without them as well. Satch. Very true, Izzy. Very true. But who needs ab when you got a keg like mine? Explains why I'm still single. I feel like Itsuki. Give me 20 more minutes and we'll be done. Right now, Wilson Fernandez trails by 1 second to Narasimha in P2. Michael Monin leads the charge by 53 seconds. Lucas Schroeder leads the charge over 1 lap to Will Brunner, Rod Skyhook, Chris Tones, Darren Wicks, Carlos Guzman. That'll be the 6 drivers in the GT3 category. 12 drivers remaining in the hypercar category. Or excuse me, 11 drivers hanging out in the category. Michael Mone, Narasima, Wilson Fernandez, Siege Engine, Jake Buckman, Juan Kairos, Alex Alfonso, Perez Saidi, Brandon Pfeiffer, Santiago Barrios, Aiden Burke. And that will end it up. My multi-million-dollar streaming contract should make up for it. Oof. If only. If only. If only it was cool to say, oh, hey, baby, by the way, I'm a race broadcaster. No, not in real life race broadcasting, just on simulators. What's a simulator? Well, it's like having an arcade machine plugged into your house, into your computer. That sounds nerdy. It is very nerdy, and that's exactly what it sounds like. And here's the gap between Wilson Fernandez and Narasima coming up the hill towards Piratella. Doesn't roll off the tongue like I thought it was gonna when I first name dropped it. Four-tenths the gap between Wilson Fernandez and Narasima. Whatever happened to Gutero? Gutero DNF'd a long time ago. He's back behind Xavier Crab. Go on board with Wilson Fernandez. That's not on board. Whoa, there goes a big look from Wilson Fernandez. Onto the number 3. 1 minute ahead from P2. Yep. Well, it's not quite a minute. It's 55 seconds, but yes. Yeah, if you find a girl that appreciates sim racing, she might be a keeper. Yeah. Might be a serial killer as well. And there goes off the number 3 of Narasima, off at Tosa. That'll conclude the battle for P2 and P3. Wilson Fernandez and Narasima falling where they might. And Siege Engine in the background chasing down Narasima next. 5.6 seconds, and the times are tumbling down now between the two of them. Even if you found a girl that just appreciated the fact that you like doing commentary, that would be a keeper. Someone who actually like supports what you do, that would be sick. How about this for you, Diaz? Lucas Schroeder is a lap ahead of Will Brunner. Now there's something to really bark at. I think it's all quiet now. The battle between Carlos Guzman and Darren Wicks on track. Battle for the remaining positions on the tower, at least, as Chris Tones comes in, and I believe he just served his 3rd pit stop of the race. Yes, Chris Tones with his 3rd pit stop of the race, the number 46, into 6th place now. That's why Chris Tones tumbled down the order behind Guzman and Wicks. 10 minutes remaining left on the clock, folks. Schroeder leads over Will Brunner, Rod Skyhook, Darren Wicks, Carlos Guzman, and Chris Tones in 6th place. In the hypercar category, Michael Moning driving very well, the number 36 over Wilson Fernandez, Arjun Narasimha, Siege Engine Jake Bucknam, Juan Kairos, Alex Alfonso, Faiz Saidi, Brandon Pfeiffer, Santiago Barrios, and Aiden Burke. Checking out this GT3 battle between Darren Wicks and Carlos Guzman. Corvette and the 720S battling it out on the tarmac. About Siege Engine and Narasimha now. Battle for the final podium paying position. Gaps come down to around half a second between Narasimha and Siege. And there is a McLaren sandwich gone wrong. The 51 sends it. I believe that was on Carlos Guzman, the number 95, that got sent off. Ran a little bit wide, and that's the battle between Darren Wicks and Carlos Guzman. Now opened up to around a second as lap traffic found their way through. 5.5 minutes remaining left on the clock, folks. 3/10 is the gap between Siege Engine and Arjun Narasimha. Cadillac having a big wiggle at Variante Alta. The number 3 is trying to cover it off as best as possible over the 51, coming across the start-finish line. And they're separated by 2/10 now, headed down into the first chicane. And this will be a move that has been set up from a long ways back, if it was going to be one. And now going into Tamburello, it is all things said and done. The 51 has to fall in line. Now going into the Villeneuve chicane, already on this lap. 51 trying to set something up going into Tosa, going onto the optimal line, tries to crisscross applesauce number 3, but number 3 arcs it onto the apex, preventing any move from happening. Up the hill and going into Piratella, still nose astern right now. Not separating the two drivers other than just a car length of space. The drivers have realized who's going to have to come in for a pit stop and who's going to make it to the end, because obviously these two are pushing as hard as they possibly can. There's a move from the 51 up the inside of the number 3, goes over the curve pretty aggressively and bottoms out the sausage there. Things are back to being reset as they were status quo just a lap ago. 1 minute and 31 seconds later, things are back to status quo between these two drivers. The 51 trails the car in front. Carlos Guzman in and out of the pits, the number 95 there. Chris Tones regains P5. Darren Wicks, Rod Skyhook, Will Brunner, and Lucas Schroeder in P1. And Siege Engine having a wiggle coming out of Aqua Minerale. The yellow flags will fly for him. Will he get passed by Wilson Fernandez? No. Not anytime soon, but that will be it for the battle for the points paying positions 1, 2, and 3, as I don't think there's enough time or daylight left in this race for him to catch back up. Let's check out where Michael Moaning is on the racing circuit. Either way, we'll get this lap plus one more. Lucum 720, thank you very much for the follow. Lucum 270, excuse me. Thank you very much for the follow. Hopefully you're enjoying this Tracklicious broadcast as much as we are. Michael Moaning on the final lap of the race, and it looks like the BMW coming in and out of the pits. Who is that? That'll be Darren Wicks now into the pits. His fuel wrong by 1 lap. Michael Moaning has carried this race from start to finish. From second place into first place. Siege Engines gained 3 positions overall. Wilson Fernandez has gained 4, and Andre Alex Alfonso has gained 8. Schroeder, Brunner gained nothing, lost nothing. Skyhook, Tones gaining positions themselves. The BMW having a bit of a drift there coming through the high chicane. And that'll be it. Michael Moning takes the checkered flag and P1. 76 seconds adrift will be Narasimha in P2. Siege Engine in third. Wilson Fernandez in fourth place. Alex Alfonso in fifth place. Juan Kairos in sixth. Or will it be? Alex Alfonso coming down pit lane. Will this be enough for him to make it to the end? I don't think so. Alex Alfonso finishing the race in P5 as he crossed the line in pit lane, I'm pretty sure. And then Juan Kairos in sixth place. Perez Saidi in seventh. Brandon Pfeiffer in eighth. Santiago Barrios in ninth. Rick Bucknam in 10th, Aiden Burke in 11th. Lucas Schroeder in P1 for his category. Will Brunner in P2. Rod Skyhook in third place. Chris Tones in fourth place. Darren Wicks in fifth place. And Carlos Guzman in sixth place. And there's your standings, folks. The top 10 in the hypercar category: Moning, Narasimha, Engine, Fernandez, Alfonso, Kairos, Saidi, Pfeiffer, Barrios, and Bucknam. Then in the GT3 category, it'll be Lucas Schroeder. In P1, Will Brunner, Rod Skyhook, Chris Tones, Darren Wicks, Carlos Guzman, One Bigley, and Jason Provolone, Xavier Crabb, and Joseph Nunez. Headed back over to the studio. Hello, everybody. He's in the green room for interviews. Give the drivers a minute or two if they want to come down for interviews. And I'm not seeing anybody come down for interviews, so we will conclude it at this, folks. Let's find someone to raid. And we will end on the calendar. And I got someone to raid. We're going to go raid my friend Zero Bandwidth. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you very much for hanging out. It's been a lovely stream. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. Have a great night and stay safe out there.